Most gardeners throw away the exact 3 ingredients that could be feeding their plants better than anything sold in a store. Fish scraps, you scraped off the cutting board, a couple tablespoons of dried kelp, and 1 spoonful of unsulfured blackstrap molasses, combined in a single jar, can be transformed into one of the most nutrient-dense liquid fertilizers your garden has ever seen. In this video, I am going to show you exactly how I turned those 3 ingredients into a dark, powerful brew I call liquid gold, using a process that takes just 10 days and costs almost nothing. By the time this video ends, you will have the full recipe, every step laid out in order, and everything you need to make your first batch at home this week. You only need a handful of items to make this brew, and the most important ingredient, fish scraps, costs you absolutely nothing. For the fish scraps, use fish heads, fish bones, fish tails, or any leftover parts from a fish you cooked. The fresher the better, and the more you can pack in, the stronger your final brew will be. You will also need 2 tablespoons of dried kelp powder or kelp meal, which is widely available at garden centers and online for just a few dollars per bag, and 1 tablespoon of unsulfured blackstrap molasses. It must specifically say unsulfured on the label, because the sulfur in regular baking molasses can harm the very soil microbes you are trying to grow. Beyond the ingredients, grab a 1-gallon glass jar with a loose-fitting lid, enough rainwater or dechlorinated tap water to fill it, and a fine mesh strainer or doubled piece of cheesecloth for the final step. If you want to give your brew an extra jumpstart, add a small scoop of finished compost to the jar, along with your fish scraps. The living microbes already in that compost will immediately begin working on the fish, and accelerate the entire fermentation process by 2 to 3 days. Start by roughly chopping your fish scraps into smaller pieces before adding them to the jar. Smaller pieces mean more surface area exposed to the water and the fermentation process, which pulls out more nutrients faster and gives you a stronger finished brew. Pack the chopped scraps loosely into the bottom of your 1-gallon jar, filling it no more than 1/3 of the way full, because you need space for the water and for fermentation gases to move through the mixture without building up pressure. If you are adding that optional scoop of finished compost, layer it directly on top of the fish scraps now, so the microbes begin making contact with the fish material right away. Resist the urge to tightly pack or compress the scraps. Loose layering is what allows the water to circulate through the material during fermentation and carry all those nutrients into solution. Before adding your kelp powder and molasses to the jar, dissolve them together in a separate cup of warm water first. This one extra step makes a significant difference in how evenly the nutrients distribute throughout your brew. Add your 2 tablespoons of kelp powder and 1 tablespoon of unsulfured blackstrap molasses to about 1 cup of warm water, and stir until both are fully dissolved and blended into a smooth, dark liquid. Pour this mixture slowly over the fish scraps already sitting in your jar, so it coats the scraps evenly before you add the remaining water. Fill the rest of the jar with your dechlorinated rainwater or tap water that has been left out overnight, stopping about 2 inches from the top. That gap at the top is not an accident. It is there to give your brew room to expand slightly, as fermentation produces carbon dioxide gas over the first few days. Place a loose-fitting lid on your jar, loose enough to let fermentation gases escape but snug enough to keep insects out, and move the jar to a warm, shaded outdoor spot or a corner of your garage where temperatures stay consistently between 65 and 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Every day for the first 5 days, give the jar a slow, gentle swirl, or use a long spoon to stir the contents from the bottom up. This introduces just enough oxygen to keep the beneficial fermentation process active without overwhelming it. You will watch the liquid darken over the first 3 days from a light murky tan to a deep, rich chocolate brown, and by day 5 you should notice a strong but earthy, slightly tangy smell coming from the jar. That smell is exactly what you want, because it tells you the microbes are actively breaking down the fish material and converting it into plant-available nutrients. On days 6 through 10, you can reduce stirring to every other day as the fermentation slows and the liquid continues deepening in color and concentrating in nutrients. Do not be concerned if you see small bubbles rising slowly through the liquid or a thin foam forming on the surface. Both are completely normal signs that fermentation is progressing exactly as it should. If you are following along and this recipe is making sense to you, take just a second right now to hit the like button below. It tells YouTube this video is worth putting in front of more organic gardeners, and that means more people discover these natural methods instead of reaching for the chemical bottle. If you are not subscribed yet, click that button now because we publish new organic gardening tutorials every single week, And next week's video covers another simple DIY fertilizer you are not going to want to miss. By day 8 to 10, your brew will have turned a deep, almost opaque dark brown, similar in color to strong brewed coffee. And that is your signal that it is ready to strain and use. Set a clean bucket on the ground, place your fine mesh strainer or a doubled piece of cheesecloth over the opening, and slowly pour the entire contents of the jar through it, pressing and squeezing the solids against the strainer to extract every last drop of liquid. The solid fish material left in the strainer is not waste. Take it directly to your compost pile or dig it into a garden bed at least 6 inches deep, because it still contains slow-release phosphorus and calcium that will continue feeding your soil for weeks. The dark liquid you have collected in the bucket is your concentrated liquid gold, and it is too strong to apply directly to plants. Applying it undiluted will burn roots and cause more harm than good. The correct dilution ratio for a soil drench is 1 part liquid gold to 10 parts water. So for every 1 cup of concentrate, you mix in 10 cups of clean water before applying. Apply your diluted liquid gold to your garden beds once every 2 weeks during the growing season, pouring it slowly and evenly around the base of each plant using a watering can with a gentle rosehead attachment to avoid splashing soil onto leaves. Always water your beds lightly before applying so the soil is moist. Nutrients move much more efficiently into damp soil and travel deeper into the root zone, rather than sitting on the surface and evaporating or running off. You can also apply a weaker version of this brew as a foliar spray directly onto plant leaves. For foliar feeding, dilute your concentrate at 1 part to 20 parts water, which is half the strength of your soil drench. Leaves absorb nutrients through tiny pores on their surface almost immediately, so foliar feeding is one of the fastest ways to correct a visible deficiency like yellowing leaves, and you will often see a response within 2 to 3 days of the first spray. By the end of 10 days, I was seeing visible, measurable changes across my raised beds. Leaves on plants that had been sitting still for weeks were suddenly a noticeably deeper shade of green. New lateral shoots were pushing out where there were none before, and my tomatoes developed new flower buds within just 5 days of the first application. These are the kind of rapid, visible results that come specifically from liquid, bioavailable nutrition delivered directly to the root zone, something a bag of slow-release granular fertilizer simply cannot match, because granules have to break down over weeks before plants can access them. The fish brought the nitrogen and amino acids, the kelp delivered the trace minerals and growth hormones, and the molasses fed the soil microbes that made all of it work together as a complete living fertilizer system. If your plants have been underperforming or sitting still despite regular care, this recipe is worth making before your next watering day. Let me quickly walk you through everything we covered so you have it locked in. You start with fresh fish scraps, 2 tablespoons of dried kelp powder, and 1 tablespoon of unsulfured blackstrap molasses, all combined in a 1-gallon jar filled with dechlorinated water and left to ferment in a warm shaded spot for 10 days with daily stirring for the first 5. On day 10 you strain it, discard the solids into your compost, dilute the liquid concentrate 10-to-1 with water, and apply it around the base of your plants every 2 weeks. The fish delivers the nitrogen and amino acids your plants use to build green growth. The kelp delivers the trace minerals and natural growth hormones that accelerate root and shoot development, and the molasses feeds the microbial life in your soil that makes all of it available to your plants in the first place. Together, those 3 free or nearly free ingredients become something far more powerful than the sum of their parts, and your garden will show you the results fast. If you made it this far, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me what plants you are planning to feed with your first batch of liquid gold, because I see every single comment, and your answer might help another gardener watching this video. If this was useful to you, please give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button so you catch the next video. We cover new organic gardening methods every week that are built specifically for real home gardeners who want clean, chemical-free results. The next video is already waiting for you.